And with us now, someone who experienced the earthquake firsthand, Bangkok-based filmmaker Mick O'Shea. Mick, so happy to see you alive and well, but the images are just jaw-dropping. Where were you when this earthquake hit, and how did everybody respond around you?
Yeah, I happened to be in a cafeteria where I was having lunch, and I noticed that I thought I was dizzy initially. And then I noticed other people were having the same reaction, and I realised pretty quickly it was an earthquake. So I rushed outside along with a lot of other people. As I exited the building, I noticed there was pieces of masonry and cement falling off the skyscrapers around me. So I recognised I needed to get somewhere in the open, so I ran across to a park. And that's when I noticed that there was a hospital across the street from me starting to be evacuated. So I ran in to see if I could give people a hand, because it was a pretty chaotic scene with a lot of stretchers and wheelchairs being brought outside in a rush. And I think they must have run out of stretchers and wheelchairs, because then they started carrying the patients out like just by arms and legs or on people's backs. So I ran in and gave them a hand with that. And I got one old lady out in a wheelchair and got her across into the park. And then I went to go back in, but the security wouldn't let me in. So I went back across the street to the park because I could see, there was a lot of stuff on the road that had fallen off the buildings, projectiles falling down, like hundreds of them. And there was a car that I saw on the way that had been taken out, cleaned up by the shrapnel. So there was the whole front bonnet and the window was smashed in, and I recognised that if this is the case in just what I can see in like a 100-metre stretch, this is a city with tens of thousands of tall buildings, so I can only imagine how widespread that damage would actually be.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible. And I know that you sent in some video, and I believe it is of a makeshift hospital or something that was being put into place. Is that where the evacuees that you helped carry out were transported to?
Yes, exactly. So that's like a wood building across the street from the hospital. It's part of the King's Royal Palace, and they opened that because it's a wood building. It's a lot more flexible than the concrete buildings, and it was only a one-storey building as well. So they deemed that probably one of the safest places. But what was interesting is they put a lot of ICU patients in there, and just in transferring the patients from the main building into that building, where I took that video, 2 people had heart attacks on the way across the street. Because you can imagine people being unplugged in a rush from ICU buildings and, rushed by the dozens or hundreds around the neighbourhood. It's not a good situation at all.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad you brought that up. So often people think of just
taken out by the.
Yeah, and a lot of people they only think of the buildings that collapse. They don't think of the scaffolding that's coming down, all the pieces that are falling from the sky, the cars that wreck during those types of things. And again, like the transport, I'm so glad you were there to help. Thank you so much for sending us this video and giving us a little bit of insight into that chaos. What does it look like right now? Are those rescue operations still going? I know we've got death toll numbers that are in the hundreds, but you were just describing 100 meters there and seeing so much devastation. How do things look right now on the ground?
Yeah, well, in the little bit of travelling around I've done since, I've noticed there's still a lot of like concrete and bricks and things like that have fallen off buildings laying around on the streets. And the thing I've noticed, I've walked through 2 condo complexes since the earthquake, and I've seen cracks, like extensive cracking. They're both fairly new buildings, like 30-plus story buildings. And you walk through the corridors and there's cracks all over the place where there were no cracks through the structural elements. So I think that this devastation's much more widespread than what you're going to recognise on the cameras, because it's the small scale cracking through all the structural works that is going to take weeks or months to identify and fix.
Yeah, meanwhile, the threat of aftershocks continues. Just such a reminder of how powerful Mother Nature is. Mick O'Shea, thank you so much for joining us. We're so glad you're safe.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app, or follow us on social media.